We really love the good news about ourselves and about our situations, but we all know that there's a lot of challenge that we have to deal with every day. And so you have to be open to hearing some things that are not necessarily good news. You got to be open to the bad news. I love conflict. I mean, I know some of you are going to react aversely to that. I love conflict. But there's two types of conflict. There's personal conflict. This sucks and so do you. And yeah. And there's issue-focused conflict. I hate personal conflict. It just drains me. But man, if something's not working right, if something's broke and it needs to be fixed, we need to talk about that. We need to talk about that. And as supervisors, you need to keep open the lines of communication because it's your responsibility. It's not your responsibility to make the change, but it's your responsibility to enable change to happen. That there's a lot of difficult decisions that have to be made, and especially a lot of difficult decisions around change that have to be made. But you know that how you get to that hard call matters as to how people are going to accept the change. If you sit in your office on a Friday afternoon or you go for a walk in the woods with some of your other colleagues and you come in Monday morning and you announce the hard call, how are people going to respond to that? Yeah, not particularly well, especially if it's a major change that's going to affect them. But if you involve them in the process of that hard call, even if they don't agree with the hard call, if I understand where it came from, I understand why it's important, I understand why you can't do what I suggested, but you heard me out, and you gave me a voice, I'm going to be more willing to participate in the change that you're suggesting. Safety, psychological safety is so absolutely critical. That people know that if they come to you and they tell you what it is you need to hear, that they're not going to be assassinated, right? Because you have to create the environment where people tell you what you need to hear, not what they think you want to hear. And if you're in an environment where fear is rampant, then the only thing that ever gets said is what people think the leader wants to hear. Have you ever seen that? Yes. That's the only thing they feel safe saying, and that's a recipe for disaster. As a leader, you need to know the truth, and the truth is sometimes messy, it's sometimes ugly, it's sometimes about you, which makes it painful. So influence is a big word. And when I hear the word influence, whenever someone uses the word influence, I immediately think power. Can you lead without power? You cannot lead without power. The process of leadership doesn't work without the exercise of power. And power is not a four-letter word. You must use some type of power to influence people to try to get them to move toward the change that is important. But there's a lot of different types of power available to you. There's the type of power which is the least effective type of power where you would say to someone, I'm the boss, you're not, I'm being decisive, this is what we need to do, now you need to go do it. That is certainly a type of influence available to you. It's the one that your people will respond to the least. The most effective type of power you have available to you is, and someone said it here, where you need to be confident, you need to be good at what you do. It's an expert type of power, and you can help others be good at what they do and create a supportive environment. So that's a type of, that makes you very influential. So power is the heart of leadership. I say power is the heart of leadership. And to me, I really know your character as a leader when I observe what you're willing to do to get power, what you do with that power once you have it, and what you're willing to do to keep your power. Man, we really see people's character when they believe their power is threatened, right? That's when we really learn what they're all about. We learn if they're all about themselves it's all about me and I'm trying to build a fiefdom to myself and for myself, or we learn if it's really about us, right? I mean, if their purpose was really about us, that's when we learn a lot, when the heat is on.